RTech Solutions, we're talking about finding the right 5G data plan. 5G is a lot of the conversation here in telecom, so I think this should be a pretty good informational and educational seminar here. So talking today is myself, Mark Indelicato. I'm the marketing manager for RTech as well as RCN, which I know some of you know me through, and then Jared Grant, our operations manager here at RTech. How you doing?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Glad to be here this afternoon with everybody.
Yeah, really happy to have you as well. Let's jump right into our agenda. So number one, how is as a service different? You'll be hearing that a lot throughout this webinar. Applications and featured blog. Then we're going to talk about our 5G solutions and cloud data platform. We're going to wrap that up with Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, you can drop it in the chat section on the right-hand side of your screen there. At the top, there's like a tab. I think you have the same view that I have, but a tab for like handouts, polls, and chat. So just click on chat, and then you can type your questions or comments, or however. If Noah, I know you're on here. If you want to berate us, that's how you would do it. So yeah, just feel free to reach out that way. So solutions as a service. So what are as a service solutions, or solutions as a service, however you want to word it. Purchasing your solutions as a service refers to month-to-month plans that include everything a business would need to get connected, such as hardware, data, support. When you choose to work with RTech, this means you receive an all-in-one turnkey solution that comes bundled with everything your solution requires. So essentially, this is just buying on an operational side of things, right?
Correct. This gives you the ability as a business owner, instead of laying out a lot of cash for a piece of hardware, to month lease that hardware, similar to like you'd lease a car.
Yeah.
So very little outlay on the front, and then a month recurring service charge.
Yeah. Is there any other benefits aside from just, like upfront fees and things as to why you would want to do like a monthly service? Like, I don't know how some of the plans work, but I mean, maybe testing different hardware or upgrades or anything like that. Is any of that kind of built into it, or is...
Correct. There is a MSP side of it where they are monitored on our side through the Net Cloud Manager. We do have our tech lab that does keep monitoring service when you do have a leased device through our tech.
Cool. So awesome. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Differences between as a service and traditional procurement. So let's go right to left here. So traditional procurement, you're going to need to purchase your hardware, data, and support separately. Often requires upfront payment. So that's the CapEx pricing model. Requires an install team if you're unable to self-install. And RMA process can certainly be difficult to navigate. Yeah, and with the hardware, data, and support, oftentimes maybe you're not getting the advice or the right solutions necessarily. I think that's one of the benefits of working with us. But you want to go over the as a service options here?
Yes. Every piece of the solution is included: the hardware, the data, the MSP services, everything that you would need to be up and running for a failover solution is included. As we spoke of before, it's monthly payments. There's no upfront fee. You can even, as we're looking at the third bullet point, the installation services, usually it's to have somebody come by and install. It can be several $100s. That pricing can also be wrapped up in the monthly. So whereas in a one-time install, maybe $300-400,
right,
we can add that over the life of the term so that the monthly payment's a little higher, but there's no large outlay of cash on the front end.
Right.
That works very well for small business owners that may not have a huge cash flow up front.
Yeah.
But the monthly payment is much more acceptable.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially if they're planning on expanding or anything like that too, just kind of knowing that you can offset some of those installation charges.
Absolutely.
Really should make things nice and easy for them. Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. I see someone answered that they're an expert for the how well do you understand solutions as a service. Nice, I like that. All right, so benefits of RTech data as a service. So we were talking solutions overall, talking RTech data specifically. So I'm not going to get into all these paragraphs necessarily, but we can kind of discuss these a little bit. Cross-carrier data pooling. So with RTech data, we can use that either as a primary or secondary. Tim, I know you're on here, so if we have an RTech or a Verizon, or maybe an opportunity where someone's doesn't have a data plan at all. Maybe they're coming off wireline, right? So Verizon could be that primary data, and then RTech could be a backup to kind of just provide some more coverage, right? So there's opportunities for RTech and some of the carriers to work together there. But with the data pooling, let's say you have 50 locations, obviously as that backup, maybe you're not in range of any one specific carrier in general, especially if you're doing like 5G as primary. So when we're talking failover, maybe it makes more sense to go this carrier here, that carrier there, and then vice versa, right? So if maybe there's a customer on a different carrier, I don't want to name any other names, but a customer on a different carrier, maybe we can set it up as Verizon on the back end through RTech data, right? And I know there's, how do you work with carriers on that? Is there any sort of like coordination structure in place, or is it, I'm not sure the answer to that. I might have to figure that one out. But
as far as the best carrier available in that area,
not necessarily. I'm saying like on the back end when we're working with like our sales team, right? So yeah, spiffs, anything like that. Like I know we've done stuff like that in the past. I don't know if we have currently.
We've done spiffs. I don't know the exact amounts that I could tell all the numbers here.
Just if it exists,
absolutely.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah, and I would imagine that's something negotiable also if we see some really big opportunities too.
And another thing I can add, for some of our bundle solutions, what we can do is put multiple carrier SIMs in one modem or Cradlepoint device.
Right.
So we could have Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. We could have two SIMs so that it hits whichever network is best in that area. Right. So we're not subject to just one carrier.
Exactly.
Specifically for that Cradlepoint, we can use multiple.
Yeah, I mean, it gives diversity for if signals aren't as strong. It gives opportunities to expand into different markets, I think, as well, and gain some of those other customers and potentially convert them over time. Yeah, a lot of benefits. I mean, that kind of takes us to the next point, the multiple carriers on one account. So like you said, you could have 3 different SIMs in one, and you're just getting billed one monthly bill, right? How does some of that work as far as the one bill, kind of I guess going back to the pools, we didn't really talk about the pooling that much, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
It would come out to be one monthly bill instead of here's your data price, we used this carrier, so price for that, here's this price for this other carrier. It's all built into one price. So
for sure,
one invoice, one price makes it easy. We do have different levels of coverage, say 1 gigabyte, 5 gigabyte, but we also do have some of our business essentials plan that is basically unlimited. It is filtered for business usage only, but you do not have to worry about overages in the case of the business essentials plan.
Right.
You're not subject to that at all. So that's a very popular bundle solution for us right now, our business essentials plan that comes with a Cradlepoint router. So.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things we do to simplify it as well is, you say it's one bill, so you're not getting billed for, if you have 10 gigs, it's not 2.5 of Verizon, 2.5 T-Mobile, yada yada. It's just 10 gigs, however you choose to use it or whatever makes sense to use it, right? So again, just kind of simplifying it for our customers. Okay, network management. So gain critical visibility. Oh, this is the cloud data platform. What can you tell me about some of the visibility that you get with the platform?
You do get to have your own login and ability to manage your data devices through the Sentinel platform. You can see what data has been used. You can make what they call a whitelist, always allow these websites URLs through, or a blacklist, always block these, or you can block certain categories.
Okay.
So it does give you the ability to manage what data is allowed through and what isn't, see what it's been used on, and make your selections accordingly. Yeah,
again, I think the term's flexibility, right? So if you've got a team that, you want to set up specific blocks or specific amount of data for one location or one computer or however you want to do it or another, or, if you want to lean into our support team side, we have options available for setting that up as well. So it's kind of what makes the most sense for you and your team. Threat protection through the same platform. We have secure private networks for end-to-end remote connectivity and to see blocked attacks. That might be a good idea for a future webinar, maybe just some of the security on our platform. But yeah, if you have any further questions, drop those in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the next slide here. Applications and featured blog. Cool. So first application, I know we got a couple in here. Retail. So some of the connectivity challenges that retail sees, POS systems, obviously, everything's going wireless. Failover, smart displays, augmented reality, virtual reality. A lot of that's becoming a lot more common. I know, like, the best example I can think of with some of that is, what is it, IKEA, I think, where you can try out furniture in your room or whatever. Bringing those things into the storefront and having a lot of customers that are able to connect to it as well. There's literally, it's limitless as to how many different applications you can do to that. But our solution, you want to talk about that a little bit? I'll take a drink here.
Yeah, no problem. Our 5G data plan can be bundled with popular Cradlepoint solutions. Our most popular one that we're using right now in our bundles is a L950. It's fairly new to Cradlepoint. For anybody that's used the 850 LP4s or 6s that are coming towards the end of life, this L950 is a wonderful replacement of it. Maybe to jump back real quick on the challenges, I wanted to give a real life example. Few of us went to the National Restaurant Association gathering in Chicago in May. Yeah. Talking to some people, talked to a lady that owned a lakeside grill on the water in East Texas. Her online went down in between Thursday through Sunday weekend in the summer. She had lost approximately between $14,000 and $15,000 worth of revenue in about 3 or 4 days. One of our solutions that would have provided her with the install and kept her online, minimal cost, $30-$40 per month, to save $14,000 from a Thursday to a Sunday.
It's wild. I used to know the exact stat of what it was. Noah, if you can look this up and drop it in the chat, that'd be helpful. But Gartner at one point had a number for literally how much per minute businesses on average lose in downtime. And it's, I think it's a couple $1,000 per minute. Really wild. But on retail, as a whole, having this type of thing, especially for multi-location retail, like we were talking about with the different carriers and what makes sense for which location. The bigger you get with it, the more I think it makes sense for your location. And that's not to say it doesn't for single locations. There's obviously benefits there as well. But I think you can really see a lot of benefit when it comes to scaling too.
In retail stores, especially, we have in our Wi-Fi family a retail store in a mall. They don't have a cash register at their location. So if their point of sale machines are down, they're not making any sales.
Oh, there you go. $5,600 per minute. That's the average cost of down. That was the average cost in like 2012 or something. I think 2013 maybe is when they did that. So I can only imagine what it is now.
I think it's only got worse, but so many businesses work off those point of sale systems, machines to take in money or have online orders. Without that being connectivity, it's very hurtful. So these solutions can be the fix to that for minimal cost. So.
Absolutely. Just looking at benefits here before we move on. So 99.99% network uptime. That's what you get when you go with Cradlepoint, which is usually what we'll offer, I believe. Faster checkouts, with 5G and some of the benefits you'll see there. Extended 5G coverage and real-time data analytics. So especially usage. A lot of this is normally more internal, but I think if you're creative, you can get some really interesting external analytics as well that you can utilize for your business.
Absolutely.
Cool. So let's look at the next one here. IoT. So some of the connectivity challenges, automated manufacturing, smart cities, that sort of thing. Data processing, self-driving vehicles, smart utilities. I'll let you go on the solution there again.
Okay. Our as a service 5G solution enables small businesses and enterprise alike to get the data and hardware needed on a month-to-month basis. It's like we talked about before. It's all rolled into one. I can make it very easy. The new Cradlepoint devices that are all incoming, they're E3000 models.
Yeah.
They do everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big rollout for Cradlepoint. For those familiar with Cradlepoint, know that this is a brand new top of the line. This is the Cadillac of devices.
It literally feels like it too. Like I did an unboxing once, and my goodness, that's that's an experience. Yeah, so some of the benefits, increased capacity, something you get with 5G and really can take advantage of with some of those devices. Real-time alerts and notifications, as soon as your network's down, you'll know that you get swept over to failover. So it's kind of, real life, real time, like, oh, okay, my little investment here is really paying off. Remote and cloud-based monitoring, and then increased bandwidth. So those benefits are kind of a little bit of, our solutions, a little bit of 5G, but it's really one of those things where everything kind of comes together and then you really can reap the benefits of what's coming. And it really, a lot of these 5G devices are setting you up for the future too, because 5G is not going anywhere. I've seen a couple articles, I think, on 6G, but it's probably going to be a good 15 at least years before that's even starting to be in the conversation, I think. It just gets headlines right now. Yeah. Anything else on IoT that you can think of before we move on?
No, I think we've covered it.
Awesome. All right, featured blog. All right, Noah, if you could pop this up. So if you check the corner of your screen, there you go. Let me hide it, actually. It covered my... How do I do this? Oh, there we go, close. Okay. Yeah, feel free to download that. It's one of our blogs, 5G for small businesses. So it kind of just, it's not necessarily like a super detailed guide, but it's a good overview of some of the benefits and some of the business enhancements that you'll see for small businesses, when it comes to upgrading to 5G. So yeah, feel free to take advantage of that. Our solutions. All right, so RTech data. First one, we talked about this, a little bit, some of the benefits of the cloud data platform, the bundled pooling. We support 5G, whether it's primary or it's failover. The data consumption controls are huge. And then the threat time or real-time threat monitoring and mitigation is really beneficial. I mean, you see, hacks and things like that in the news every day. So, I mean, this isn't always, nothing is completely foolproof, but you're going to want to wear a little bit of armor going out. So this is, this is the start to that. And then there's levels, and I know there's things coming down the pike that are really going to beef that up quite a bit. Yeah. Anything on RTech data or the cloud platform?
I'll just put another plug for the cloud platform. You can kind of see a little picture of it on the laptop on the bottom right there. The ability that platform gives you to access, monitor, and pull reports on your data and keep tabs is top of the line as far as what you can monitor, what you can let through or block, as far as what websites. Very, very interactive and very good for the customers to have that ability to do that themselves and not rely on somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And it makes it really easy too. You don't have to be, you really need to be an IT person to understand it and to utilize it.
No, very user-friendly. Very walks you right through where to go, where to click to get reports on data usage, where to go and potentially view what the data has been used for. Very easy to use.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and if you're still concerned at all, we've got a pretty thorough onboarding process as well. So that's all a part of the onboarding process. Awesome. Cradlepoint E300. So you were talking about these. This is the lower end Cadillac, I think, out of the two. Just missing a zero. But yeah, I mean, tell me about the E300.
Well, it's one of their newer models. It's made for the 5G network, and it's also set up for the Wi-Fi connection through all of it. So you don't have to have a separate port for it. It's made to just plug in and go.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that's interesting too, we were just talking security a moment ago, but so any Cradlepoint product is going to come with NetCloud. It's a part of buying Cradlepoint. I'm actually curious if there's any Cradlepoint people on here right now, if they could talk to it at all. There's not. Yeah, so it's just an added layer of security, right? I mean, from our cloud data platform, you get all these security controls, things like that. You can also set more of them at the net cloud level as well. So especially for really security conscious customers, you can do a lot through that.
Mhm.
But,
And with our bundle solutions, we also have the ability to monitor the net cloud. So we also get notifications if something's offline.
yeah.
So it's not just the customer, but also as us as a monitoring system. Our tech lab can go in and help facilitate. So
absolutely,
it gives you ability that way.
So let's add an extra 0 to it. The E3000. It's the upgraded version of the E300. Jared, I'll let you take over on this one again.
This one is the bigger, better one. It's got the 5G and the Cat 20 connectivity. Metal form factor, I guess it's made a little more durable than the other one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's
very neat.
Yeah, it's a beast, and like we said, it is an experience just of itself. It is very high quality device.
Yeah. I'll point out, look where it's certified. Certified for use with Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, FirstNet, Frontline, and Connective Heroes Ready. That's about all of them, almost.
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty much got you covered in any form. So that's pretty interesting. Wi-Fi 6 compatibility in dual band. This is the Cadillac one. This is the big boy of all the Cradlepoint devices.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the one that they use in the White House as well. I remember seeing a social media post for Cradlepoint. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a picture that they taken in the White House, and they did one of those, like where you zoom in on the circle, and it was just the device sitting there. But it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Very neat.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else before we move on from this?
No.
Q&A. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in that sidebar. If not, we've got a couple here that came in remotely that we'd written down before. But number one, would I be billed separately for data from different carriers? Kind of went over this a little bit, but
sure did.
Yeah.
No, the nice thing about our as a service bundle is it is just one invoice. You won't see a Verizon invoice, T-Mobile, AT&T invoice for different portions of data and your data and your hardware. It's one invoice per month. Makes it easy to not have to keep up accounting wise with several different options.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's much easier.
Again, there's that flexibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What are different support options? So this is actually interesting because it's sort of changing soon. So a lot of the support that we had offered before, at least in the way that we had offered it, is kind of sunsetting at the end of the year. We're actually, with RCN Technology, launching the nation's first 5G NOC. So we're really excited about that. A lot more information is going to be coming about that soon, but essentially operates very similarly to our managed service program, just a lot more streamlined. And it's essentially kind of like a checklist of here's what you get for this tier, right? Yeah. So, it's a lot of different options kind of all over the place before, and this again streamlines it. And then when it comes to things like support, things like security, things like that, it's essentially really beneficial for organizations that don't have a really good IT system, or even IT centers that are maybe wanting to maybe use their budget for some other things versus hiring additional hands just to manage some of these.
Yeah, outsource a little bit on a monthly platform. Monthly payment, no large cash outflow, kind of like we're talking about buying the devices. If you're looking to outsource a little bit of your MSP NOC services, we have those options starting in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. Last one I have on here, and we were discussing this one before a little bit, so I think it's going to be interesting to answer, but what differences would I notice on a day-to-day basis as a business owner when using solutions as a service? So I think overall, our solutions as a service, if you're talking about the entire package, a lot of it's going to be, removing some of that burden from IT teams, saving money, as we talked about. that sort of thing. If you're talking, specifically just data, you're going to see a lot. And I guess it's not really specifically just data, but that's what comes to mind more for me. But things like, failover and, primary internet, having those statistics, being able to set those blocks however you want to. I mean, yeah, that's potentially game changing, depending on how you use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. I think that's, I haven't seen any other chat questions come in. So with that being said, I mean, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jared, for being here with us, and thank you to everyone who watched. Yeah, any parting words for our audience, or?
No, please contact us if you have any questions or need to look at some quotes for some options. We'll be glad to talk to you, or no, not even if we're looking to make a sale. We'll just be glad to talk to you and see what we can help out with anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay.